Alright, everyone, OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to the PE Nintendo Switch and Gaming News video. Today, we got some awesome topics for you guys, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Bungie has released a brand new Destiny 2 launch message for all of the players out there. It was a very short message from Bungie as far as one of the top dudes over there. And he talked about how this is the launch of Destiny 2 and how they're excited to put together this game. And they showed everyone smiling while they're making the game and creating guns. And it's the beginning of a journey. It was a brief message, it was about 40-something seconds posted on the PlayStation channel. And it basically goes over what Destiny 2 is. Now, I have not talked about Destiny 2 too much on this channel, because Destiny 1 just kind of, it was an okay game. I thought it was one of the best games that I played on the Xbox One back a couple years ago, but yeah, I'll talk about that in a bit. So let's get into Destiny 2. If you don't know about this game, Destiny 2 is an action shooter that takes you on an epic journey across the solar system. In the cinematic campaign, you'll enter a world filled with compelling characters and fight to take back our home, battle with friends in multiple co-op modes, or challenge others in intense multiplayer matches. Destiny 2 is out now for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. It will release later on Windows PC on October 24th. One thing to note about the PC version of the game, you will not be able to buy it on Steam, unfortunately. You'll have to go through the battle.net as far as Activision Blizzard's thing that they do. So yeah, you have to go through that to buy the game, which is unfortunate. I thought it'd be available on Steam, but it's not. Now let's talk about Destiny just a little bit, because I was really hyped for like the first Destiny game. I was like, okay, yeah, this is kind of giving me like a Mass Effect vibe. I can play online with my friends, so like a co-op multiplayer Mass Effect game. And then the game launched, and I was like, no way I'm buying this. Like, no way I'm getting suckered into buying this, which a lot of people did get suckered into buying the game. It wasn't very good in my opinion, or, it had okay mechanics, but lots of games have great shooting mechanics, and there was a lot of worlds to go to, but there wasn't a lot of content to do with them. And it was really multiplayer-ish, like MMO, like always online DRM-ish to me, which the game still is at this point, but it was a little bit too much. Like, there's a game that's being online and a game being like that. There's really no real single player, and you always have to be connected online. For example, like Splatoon 2 or Splatoon, you can be offline and you can still put a single player experience, and you don't have to worry about being online. Whereas this game, it's pretty much always online for everything, because like the main place is like a hub world for more online stuff. So that's one thing that kind of turned me off to the game. But I still did later get the game, just because, like I said, it had Mass Effect vibes to me. So I purchased this one right here, Destiny, The Taken King. This was the first one, the Legendary Edition. I purchased it and I played it, and I thought it was an okay game. Like I said, it has solid mechanics. I think it's pretty good when it comes to things. It just overall isn't very unique or innovative really in anything. It's stuff that I've done in shooters before, but it's just done in better graphics. And the 30 frames per second for the shooting game, although not horrible, just kind of that's why I was kind of looking into the PC version. Maybe if it's a 60 frames per second version, basically of a better Destiny 1, that might be worth a purchase down the road. But I don't know, man. I don't know about this. So I want to ask you guys, and this is the reason why I brought it up. Are any of you guys playing this game at this point? What is your opinion on the game? How do you like it so far? What are they doing better than Destiny 1? What have they improved greatly? And do you feel that the game is going to have long legs in terms of how long people are playing the game? Do you feel that there's any missteps that they had? I would love to hear you guys' thoughts as far as what you guys think about Destiny 2 in the comment section below. Alright, and moving on to the next article here. Syberia launches on the Nintendo Switch on October 20th. So Macroids will release the original Syberia for the Nintendo Switch on October 20th in North America and in Europe, the publisher has announced. Now, the Nintendo Switch version, developed by Boa Labs, will allow players to re-experience the beginning of Kate Walker's adventures both on the TV screen and on the go. Here is an overview of the game via Macroids. Kate Walker, a young New York lawyer, is dispatched to deal with the sale of a former automation factory hidden in the French Alps. She never thought that this task, as simple as it seemed, would change her life forever. She quickly embarked on a journey into the confines of Eastern Europe, accompanied by a very peculiar automation named Oscar. Together, they discover incredible places filled with colorful characters before meeting Hans Vorarlberg, I probably said that wrong, I'm terribly sorry, the genius inventor following the trails of the last mammoths found on a mythical island of Syberia, which also happens to be the last piece of a puzzle to conclude the sale and the mission of Kate. So This game definitely isn't my style. From what I've seen here, it's definitely not my style. But I know that there's a lot of people out there that like this type of game and that are happy that it's coming to Nintendo Switch. I know Natasha, she's always on my channel, awesome user. Make sure you check out her Twitter page. I'll have it linked in the description below, or at least in the comment section. Check out her Twitter page. She always posts really cool Nintendo stuff. She's talked about this game and how she's really excited about it or is looking forward to it. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things to where I'm covering it just because I've had people reach out and say, yeah, this game is actually pretty cool. You know, I played it before. It's cool that it's coming to the Switch. I can play it on the go. So what do you guys think about Syberia? And for those who have played it, let me know about it as far as what you like about it, what you dislike, what do you feel that they're going to improve? I mean, because this version is going to have some improvements apparently over the original. So what do you think about it? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the last article here. The Media Create sales charts are back. I think I missed reporting on the last couple weeks or so. Terribly sorry about that. I've just been changing my schedule around, and sometimes it comes up in the news and sometimes it doesn't. But let's go ahead and get right into these Media Create sales charts. This is for the week of August 28th, 2017 through September 3rd, 2017, and Everybody's Golf opens up at 100,000 sales on the PlayStation 4. So let's get into it here. Everybody's Golf, the first PlayStation 4 entry in the long-running golf series, sold 100,719 units during its first week of release in Japan. The latest Media Create sales figures have revealed. Now, Etrian Mystery Dungeon 2, Atlas and Spike Chunsoft's Etrian Odyssey and Mystery Dungeon crossover sequel for the Nintendo 3DS opened up at 29,887 sales. Also new this week is Gus Knights of Azure 2, Bride of the New Moon, which launched at 18,207 copies on the PlayStation 4, 7,168 copies on the PS Vita, and 4,463 copies on the Nintendo Switch for a total of 29,838 sales. Finally, the PlayStation 4 version of Resident Evil Revelations opened up at 9,260 sales, and Arc System Works' Jake 100 detective story Ghost of the Dusk for the 3DS opened up at 6,132 units. So we talked about Everybody's Golf, which was a pretty cool game. That game's been around forever. I think it was called Hot Shots Golf beforehand. So yeah, that game's been around for a long time. People have really liked it over the years. So it's cool that it's back on the PlayStation 4, and it did okay for an opening in Japan. Now another thing that I want to talk about is Splatoon 2, because that game has continued to show the long legs that it's going to need in the long run when it comes to helping the Nintendo Switch. So that was pretty good because it sold 53,320 units, and it has over 1,056,500 units sold, just physical only in Japan. Very good for Splatoon 2. It's starting to actually outpace Dragon Quest XI on the 3DS and on the PlayStation 4 combined, because if you move over all the way down to number 5, not really too far, but Dragon Quest XI Echoes of an Elusive Age on the 3DS sold 22,000 units. Then if you go down 2 more spots on the PlayStation 4, Dragon Quest XI Echoes of an Elusive Age sold 14,053 units on the PlayStation 4. So I think it's a combination of people waiting for the Nintendo Switch version, which is essentially both of these combined. You get the portability aspect in addition to the HD graphics. You get all of that in one package, and I definitely think that's the reason why Square Enix isn't talking about that. They felt that it would affect sales on the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo 3DS, and while there's no definitive answer yes or no when it comes to talking to the people and saying, hey, are you waiting for a Switch version, I think with the sales taping off as much as it is, I think some people are just saying, hey man, I'm going to buy Splatoon 2, and I'm going to go ahead and get Dragon Quest later when it comes out on the Nintendo Switch, because it's pretty much going to be the version that I want. HD graphics, also on the go, Joy-Cons, whatever the case is. Another thing that I do want to mention is that Monster Hunter for the Nintendo Switch, Monster Hunter Double Cross, the Nintendo Switch version, has held up pretty nicely. A lot of people were trying to say that it flopped and it's not going to do well, or whatever the case is, and that's not really the case according to what Capcom is looking for. They're looking for anywhere between 300,000 to 500,000 sales, and it's well on its way to doing so. Monster Hunter Double Cross for the Nintendo Switch was number 4 on the charts, and it sold another 27,120 units. It has a grand total without digital sales of 111,396 units, so it's well on its way to that 300,000 lowest minimum goal as far as what Capcom is looking for. It's easily probably going to hit that by the holiday season, especially when people start buying stuff and the presents and all that for the holiday season with the Nintendo Switch. As the Switch gains more popularity, that game's going to sell more because it's Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter always has legs when it comes to Media Create sales charts, so I wasn't really worried about that, and it looks like it's going to do well overall in the end. Now, moving on from the software, we're going to go ahead and move into the hardware here, and the Nintendo Switch was once again number 1. It's had some dips here and there when it comes to stock, but obviously they were able to get some okay stock for this week. Nintendo Switch sold 50,074 units compared to 69,654 units last week, so a drop off of some units there, but still the #1 in Japan. As far as #2 was the Nintendo 3DS. If you combine all the different versions and models, the new Nintendo 3DS XL, the new Nintendo 2DS XL, the 2DS, the original 3DS, new 3DS, whatever the case is, it was #2. Then the PlayStation 4 came after that. So overall, pretty good week in Japan as far as the Nintendo Switch goes. Obviously, you want to see those sales. Having above 50,000 is definitely good. It's good for given the circumstances, and it outpaced the PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Wii U, and it's right on there with the Nintendo 3DS when it comes to certain things, actually even jumping up above it when it comes to certain weeks. So that's good for Nintendo. They're getting the stock, and it's better. Hopefully we don't have those dips, but really it's one of those things to where you can't really control it. Nintendo's doing the best that they can. Obviously, they're trying to keep enough stock, and I think just as long as if they sell above 22, 23,000, make sure you keep it in that range or keep it right in there. I think you're going to be okay, because if you look at the systems that have came out when it comes to anything that had to be a home console at all, those systems would always dip below the 10,000 unit range. I mean, we saw PlayStation 4 dip below that many times early in its life. We saw the Wii U dip well below that. Heck, some weeks it was 2,000 to 3,000 units sold when there's fully stocked as far as the Wii U goes. Even when the biggest games came out, we saw stuff like Super Mario 3D World, and it was like 22,000 units sold for Super Mario 3D World in Japan that week, which is not very good considering the Nintendo Switch does that very easily even when there's no stock. And Super Mario Odyssey is definitely going to sell a lot more when it comes to system sales in Japan. So it's good to see that Nintendo's keeping a better stock, and hopefully they continue this, because Splatoon 2, man, is carrying it. I think pretty much everyone who bought a Switch bought Splatoon 2 as well this week, man. 50,000 units sold as far as Nintendo Switch, over 50,000 Splatoon 2 copies sold, so that's good. It's going to be interesting to see how Dragon Quest does when it comes to Nintendo Switch, just because we can kind of put together that theory that people are waiting. We'll see how much it does sell. So let me know what you guys think about all the different sales numbers here and what's going on with the media create. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We've got Facebook, we've got Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. It really helps us spread the content of PlayerEssence across the interwebs in addition to YouTube. Also make sure you check out our Patreon page, pledge any tier, and be entered to win some awesome prizes. In addition to that, we have Discord voice chat and $10 prize eShop tournaments from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, and more. Support PE Live and PE Arena right here on PlayerEssence. Also make sure you hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next video. Peace.